Hey there, darlings. I'm recording this after I narrated the episode, so it's a bit out of order. The reason that I did this is I didn't introduce the letter properly last time, as I didn't honestly know what I was reading yet, and I need to fix that. Viewer discretion is heavily advised with this one. The letter's writer is that of a child, trapped in a nightmare I myself was once trapped in. I believe this episode is important. That's why I'm still airing it. But if you ain't the type that can stomach any harm coming to a child, and I won't blame you if you are, you might want to skip this one. Dear Dahlia, hi. My name is Charlotte, and I'm 7 3/4, almost 8. Mom said I could write to you about this. No one believes me, but Mom does. She's helping me write it, so she's here too. Her name is Annie. She says you're friends. It started when I went to sleep 2 months ago. I would try to go to bed, then I wouldn't be in bed anymore. I'd be there. At first, it was this big place that was kind of under everything else. It was like Alice, because there were animals there too, and the white rabbit. I wanted to look for the tea party, but then someone started talking. It was a man. He was scary. I didn't like him. I don't like him. He's big, and he's really tall. He's even taller than Mom. His eyes are scary. They're black, and they're like a well. I don't like wells. They echo, and I almost fell in one. He told me I was special, that I found this place. I was the first one in a long time that he found that showed promise. He said he liked me, and I would learn to like him too. That was a lie. Me learning to like him. I still don't like him. He scares me. He says I have to stop being scared, that I have to learn the hard truth about the world, that it isn't kind, that sweet things like me are in it, and that makes it bright. He took me from Wonderland, and he took me to a big house. There were a lot of rooms. It was like a fun house at first, but it isn't fun. I can hear other kids. I can hear them scream sometimes. The ones that scream don't last long. I've seen him drag them away. The man likes to chase. I don't know what he does to the kids he catches, but I never see or hear them again. The older kids say I don't want to know what happens to them. Oh, sometimes there are older kids there. The big kids, they find me and other little kids and hide us. They tell us not to make noise if he's close. They lead him away from us sometimes, if they find us before he does. There's a boy, his name is Alex. He's funny, and he has big glasses. He always tells jokes, and he gives me crackers when he finds them. There was a girl, too. Her name is Savannah. She's really cool. She's one of the big kids, and she'd find me every night. She gave me her butterfly hairpin. She said it would protect me like it did her. I still have it. It doesn't just stay in the dream, so I wear it every day. I haven't seen her in a few days, though. Not since. I'm scared. I wasn't careful one night. I like to explore. I know I shouldn't, but the house moves, and it changes every night. I learned that some spots don't. I like to go there when I find them. There's this really big window in the library that shows the yard behind the house. It's huge, grass everywhere that looks so soft, and there's a forest too. A big fence stops the grass before it can reach the trees, but I think it'd be fun to play out there. I was exploring one night, and I found the kitchen. It smelled really good, so I went in. I didn't hear him, so I thought it was safe. I hadn't heard anyone that night, so I thought they were all on the other side of the house. It's so big, I probably couldn't hear anyone over there. That's what I thought, anyway. I guess they were all hiding from him. Or maybe they weren't all there. Some of them aren't there every night, I don't think. I am anymore, but I didn't used to be. The kitchen was really big. It had 3 ovens. There was a big table, too, and it was covered in cookies and cake and all sorts of sweet things. I was hungry. I always am there, so I went to the table. That's when he stepped in. I didn't even hear him, he was just there. He looked even bigger than the last time I saw him, but he didn't shout or laugh or anything like I've heard him do with other kids. He walked in and pulled out a chair for me. He asked if I wanted to sit down and eat. I was scared, but the food smelled really good, and he was being really nice. He even smiled at me. So I said yes. I wish I didn't. He helped me sit down. I have trouble reaching things sometimes. He sat next to me and started talking. He gave me cookies or cake or anything I asked for at the table. He told me I was really smart, and he'd never seen someone my age do this well at the house. I don't know what he meant, but I think it had something to do with how the other kids scream sometimes. He said he was impressed with me, but I'd need to get smarter and stop being afraid to make noise, afraid to run from him. He likes to chase, he said, but he likes the ones who are smart enough to get away more. He played with my hair. He said it was soft, and he liked it. I didn't like him touching me, so I tried to get away, but he pulled on my hair and said it was rude to leave the table without being told I could. He said he wasn't going to hurt me, he just liked games. He asked if I liked games. I do, but I was so scared I couldn't say anything. I felt so alone and in trouble, like I'd done something wrong. He asked again. His voice got meaner, and he pulled my hair again. He said, good girls answer questions and do what they're told. He asked if I wanted to be a good girl. He started getting closer to me, and he smiled. His teeth were so sharp, and his eyes were really dark. I thought he was going to eat me. And then Savannah ran into the kitchen. She had a broom in her hands, and she hit him right between the eyes. She grabbed me, she picked me up and tried to get me away. He grabbed at my arm, though. His nails were like claws, and he scratched me. It hurt a lot. It still hurts. Savannah kicked him until he let me go. He was really mad. He was screaming, saying really mean things about Savannah. That she was worthless and no fun anymore, and that he'd kill her. And he was still reaching for me with his claws. Savannah ran. She ran and didn't stop running. She's really fast. She got us away from him. She ran into rooms I'd never seen before, but she got us away. She finally stopped in a room that was empty except for a big window and a blanket. There was a huge garden on the other side full of really pretty flowers, but I felt scared looking at them, so I looked at Savannah. She was wearing a yellow shirt. It was pretty. She likes yellow. She asked me if I was okay, if he touched me anywhere else. She wrapped my arm up with parts of her shirt, told me it was okay to cry, that I was fine, that she wouldn't let him touch me again. She told me to never accept food from him, to run if I ever saw him again, and to scream for her and she'd find me. She told me she'd been really scared when she saw him talking to me. She hugged me and held me for the rest of the dream. She was shaking too. I tried to ask her what he'd wanted, but she told me I didn't want to know. I wouldn't understand. She didn't want me to understand what this place was. She sang to me too. She has a pretty voice. She sang and talked about flowers and home and adventures. I like Savannah's adventures. She's really brave. She runs for her school, that's why she's so fast. She runs with her dad too. She told me about him. He makes really good pancakes. She cried. So did I, but we were both okay because we had each other, so I knew we'd be fine. I woke up that morning and the sheets were really red. Mom screamed when she found me. She says I lost a lot of blood and she wanted to know what happened, so I told her everything. She doesn't let me sleep alone anymore. No one else believes me about the dream or the house or him, but Mom does. She said that she's your friend and she saw crazy things when she used to be with you and she's hoping you can help. I hope so too. I'm scared. I don't want to go to the house anymore, but every time I sleep, I'm there. I'm scared for Savannah, too. I haven't seen her since that night. It's been a week. The longest she's been gone was a day. She always finds me. I'm scared. Please help her. Mom says you can. And I believe Mom, so I think you can, too. Please find Savannah and tell her she can have her butterfly back, okay? She needs it to protect her too. We can share. Thank you for reading my letter, Dahlia. Mom says she's gonna write too. So it's her turn next, okay? Charlotte. Leah, please. Please say you can help Lottie. I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to believe some animal had come in the middle of the night and hurt her rather than this. But she's been trying to tell me about this man and this house for months, and I just thought it was nightmares. We just moved, and of course she's scared of a big house since that's all we've looked at, and I figured that maybe her dad... I took some pictures of her arm, and they'll be in the letter too. It was horrible, Leah. I've never been more scared. It looked like something had tried to take her arm off. I had to try and explain it to a hospital that she tried to pet a raccoon or something. I'm scared, Leah. But I know you, and I know you'll think of something. Please, not just for Lottie, but for Savannah too. She saved my daughter. She has been for a while when I couldn't, and I'm scared for her too. Always yours, Annie. Well, listeners, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Something I always try to do. I can't give you the happiest ending to this one. I can't wrap everything up in a bow, give you an explanation or a magic solution to little Lottie's problem. The reason being is that this thing has been around for a while. I know because I used to be trapped in that house too. I got out. I was one of the lucky ones. I haven't found many people who lived through it, and it hurts greatly to hear that it still is going on. I was trapped there for many a night from the time I was a child. I don't rightly know when it started, to the time I escaped when I was 15. I tried to pull more people with me, but I couldn't. I think that's the point. You gotta figure it out on your own. Like little Audie said, he likes the smart ones. I don't know what gets his attention at the start, and I don't know what makes him choose his favorites. What I do know is he feeds on fear and innocence. He likes the pure and kind ones, but he'll play with those that don't have that bright spark of hope too. Like little Lottie, I got the thing's attention personally. He would talk to me, try to ply me with food or knowledge, tried to get me alone and at his mercy. I know what he did to other kids he caught, but he never did it to me. He was just playing a game, and I was an interesting player that he'd kidnapped. I don't want to tell you the things I saw in that hell house. It still haunts me, even now. What I can tell you is that I did help Lottie. I told her how to get out, and you'll be happy to know that by the time you're listening to this, she did. I also know what happened to Savannah. Don't worry, she's alive, but she was in a medically induced coma when I managed to track her down. Doctors don't know what happened. Her dad, her only living family, don't know what happened neither. She just didn't wake up one morning. She was bleeding internally, heavily bruised all over, and her heart rate hadn't calmed down outside of heavy sedatives. Before she was put into a coma, she'd wake up screaming for a little girl, crying and fighting everyone who touched her. I've done what I can for her. I hope she could hear me. I've got hope that she could, though. She's been more awake now than she has been for 2 weeks. I gave her what I gave Lottie. Knowledge. Now, I'll tell you what I told them. How to get out if you find yourself in the beast's house. I can't stop him or whatever he is, but I can help you. Get out as fast as you can. The windows look like they can't be opened, can't be broken, but they can. You just have to believe you can go through them. If you can't do that, find a door. You'll always find a door there if you look for it, but you gotta be specific in what door you want. I've talked to some others who got out and their stories match with mine. You want a green door, bright green, with a red handle. It has no windows on it, no carvings. It's a plain green door with a red handle. Find that door and you can get out of the house. You ain't done yet though. You have to run through the grass and get through or over the fence that borders the whole place. If you can get past that fence, you'll never set foot in that house again. I went through the door first, but he caught me right as I got to the grass and drove me back. Then I went through the window. There might be other ways to get out, but you have to believe you can. It's hope. That's the biggest tool you got against him. Have hope that you can get out, and you will. Stay safe, and I hope you have pleasant dreams, darlings. My best, Dahlia LeBeau.